actually going to read an excerpt from a longer short story that I did for a creative nonfiction compilation. I have trouble pinpointing exactly why I'm so enamored of you. It could be the confliction I feel because of your lack of ambition, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. A man without overzealous ambition lives simply and simply enjoys living every day. And I believe in that simple life, not overcomplicated with anxieties and hopes for the future. I want to believe in that relaxed living so much, and I'd be willing to try on a different attitude towards life and relax into it like a Sunday morning sweater. Where and how you live leads me to believe in such a beautiful simplicity. In a little lofty cottage poking out of the ground, surrounded by woods, the boundaries of a horse farm, and hills fielded with bright buttercups that remind me of the opening credits to Little House on the Prairie. Your house is also bordered by the Brandywine River, on which we capriciously went tubing last Sunday, a surprisingly humid 85-degree day in May. Your roommate and grade school friend Paul and a few of your friends all piled into your car with our $4 inner tube used as like tires from Walmart. We'd blown them up in your living room beforehand. This was a mistake. You sped down dirt and gravel roads, the greenery whipping past us, your friend Alex leaning out of the frame, sitting in the negative space of the passenger window. The aroma of Yingling lager from our open bottles and sounds of Creedence Clearwater Revival permeated the air. And I felt as though I were in the 60s, a time I know you appreciate as much as I do, all denim and American life, getting smoked out, not worried about a goddamn thing. Your drinking habits are questionable like Kerouac's. You enjoy lazy afternoons, and sometimes I watch you shoot 22s off your back porch, down the hill at some blue canister hanging from the tree line. I don't like the loud noise of the guns, but at least I'm not surprised by it. If I know it's coming, it isn't as startling. And I enjoy you enjoying lazy afternoons and make myself lazy for you. It feels good to be relieved of all that ambition a few days out of the week, to forget that I'm too hard on myself and there's no good reason for it. You're a question mark. You tell me nothing of how you feel for me, and when I doubt whether you want to be with me as much as I want to be with you, you tell me, you don't know what I want, Erin. And that drives me crazy, because you leave it at that and I'm still left wondering. It makes me think that you're holding on to some master plan, though I know you don't think that far ahead into the future, so I guess you're just hinging on the now, the amorphous nature of this type of thing, of just letting things play out as they will. And I believe that in not giving an answer to your question mark, that you're possibly saving this from an end, because an answer would materialize this relationship and these things, once defined, end sooner or later. I almost asked you last night after we made love with your body still between my legs and resting your messy head at my heart, what do you feel when you're with me? And I couldn't bring myself to do that, half because I was afraid of the answer ruining the night and half afraid that I was once again begging for definition. The intimacy between you and I is something to recognize, and I don't care what we do all day when we hang out and it seems like we're struggling for things to say, but once we get to bed, all those other things are peripheral. Communication between us is a mystery in every way but that. Our bodies speak in movements that play to certain disabilities like Braille for the blind, and effectively we understand each other. At least I feel it. You still don't let me know, but I doubt less and less the more we sweat and sigh. Your care with me is the proof. A hand behind my head, a tight embrace that keeps me near to you. The firmness with which your hands move me, the punctuation of your moans. It's the passion with which you keep me satisfied, pressing your mouth or tongue to all the places on me you adore. At least I hope it's adoration and genuine affection. Once again, I never know. You never tell me, not with words anyway. I might have made this all up in my own head. Once again, I never know. This might not be real, and you'd never tell me. A couple of Saturdays later, you threw a party. I pulled up to see two girls in party dresses coming from your front door, giggling and heading to their car to grab some odd or end they'd forgotten. Seeing them walk in your house like that made me feel strange, as if they were taking a walk of shame the morning after. We passed each other at an enormous distance. I walked through the grass as the automatic floodlight kicked on and down the brick walkway to your front door. I let myself in. At this point, I was comfortable enough to be beyond knocking. I walked into a bunch of boys lounging around on the couch and around your little living room, only a few of which I knew Alex, your roommate Paul, and your brother. Out on the deck, with a beer pong table set up, red party cups on a white fold-out plastic table. The height of the deck so unfortunate, but if a ball rolled off of it, it required a good 7-foot jump down or retrieve. Your ex-girlfriend and an acquaintance of mine from high school, college directions to your hidden little house. You didn't warn me that she'd be coming. You said you hadn't thought about it. And immediately my mind frenzied, my heart pulling goaded to my stomach. This is the one girl you admittedly cared the most about out of anyone you'd ever tried to date. That's what you told me the other night. That same attention and care is something that I'm struggling to eke out of you. I was smoldering on the inside, so much so that despite my admitted inability to make friends with girls, I befriended one of the overdressed girls I'd seen visiting the car earlier, just so I could talk a little trash about your carelessness and make myself feel better. I felt intimidated. I was reduced to cattiness. I know I had no hold on you. She showed up and was a boyfriend. That was the one thing I felt might ameliorate the situation, if only in the slightest. If she had shown up with a girlfriend, newly out of the closet hell, that probably would have made me feel even better. She came in from the deck with a plate of brownies, and I thought to myself, I didn't bring anything special to this party. I bet she made a better impression than everyone else than I had. I hadn't made you baked goods yet. It was the first thing my friend Hillary had told me to do for you, to let you know that I liked you. I hadn't done it yet. Shit, she beat me to it. My brain reeled on with so many scenarios of what I could do better, or what I needed to do to get your attention. And she came in with the plate. Her eyes met mine, and I loosened the tension in my facial muscles enough to let out a chipper "Hi" from the couch. I quickly went back to stewing and let out a few bitter remarks to the hairdresser girl sitting next to me, something about, I swear that bitch says a word to me and it's on. So that "hi" is all we'd exchanged with each other the entire night. I didn't eat any of her fucking brownies, strictly out of protest. Her boyfriend meandered around a little bit, looking quite out of place, awkwardly trying to chat up people that he didn't know. And as she wasn't tethered to his hip or anything, she naturally found herself mingling with others she'd known before I had. You guys started talking, and you smiled and laughed and carried on like old friends reacquainted. I watched from the couch, careful not to glare, just a glance. Your eyes didn't break from each other. You smiled, and she lowered her eyes to the ground. She was familiar with you in the way that I wanted to be, and I watched that moment like I was watching a movie I loved to hate, because for all its idealism and savviness, I still longed for what it was selling. That cliche moment where only the two of you mattered and the rest of the world fell away. I was rendered invisible, so I didn't make myself too pleasant or even really try to insist on my existence. I tried hard not to bother you, not to make any kind of a scene, save the brushing of my fingertips at your hip in front of her as I passed through the kitchen to get myself another drink. Trust me, at this point, if I didn't have a drink in my hand, I was on my way for another one. I milled around from deck to living room to kitchen, haunting the place, making brief and forced contact with others to distract myself. Also, so that if you happened to look over, you could see how upset I wasn't. The hours reeled on. Jeffrey, pomegranate juice cocktail, tequila, drinking out of cups like bitches, coconut ashtray, Alex swinging from rafters, take a picture, Bob Marley, Kevin mushrooms bowls, glass metal, who's got a light, grilling hot dogs, hamburgers, messy ketchup caps, shitty beer in the cooler, better beer in the fridge, and she left. And I didn't notice when she'd said goodbye, but after she'd left and by nearly the end of the night you were closer to me. You actually put your arm around my waist. You apologized for being such a rotten void. I pointed some questions towards you regarding, once again, our lack of definition and my complete and utter ignorance when it came to how you felt about me. You turned me to face you and said, "This really is all you're waiting for?" I looked you dead in the eye and nodded enthusiastically, anticipating a response, at least to say something. You didn't. And you just hinted that I'd have to wait, that it would come out, just not tonight. I'm not a patient person by any means, but goddamn it, I don't wait. Around 3 a.m. we went to bed, and your leftover friends lay strewn about your living room in various stages of